Hello everyone. Today I will present a published research journal entitled Presupposition Triggers in the Washington Post and Los Angeles Times Online News by Khairani Adeguswita and Pratomo Widodo, published in Lingua, Volume 16, Number 1, in March 2019. The study investigates how journalists embed presuppositions in their writing using specific linguistic triggers, especially in political news articles. The study begins by explaining how language in the media can subtly influence readers. And according to Zer, Abasfor, and Nia, 2012, journalists attempt to consciously or unconsciously influence the reader understanding the content of the news. Presupposition plays a key role in this process. It refers to unstated assumptions that are taken for granted. Yule, 2006, states that a presupposition is something that the speaker or reader assumes to be the case prior to make a sentence or utterance. In other words, the assumption of a speaker or writer is already believed as truthful by the addressee. The speaker or writer should know or assume about presupposition so that the context of utterance or sentence can be understood. The researchers selected political news from the Washington Post and Los Angeles Times because both frequently express opinion through language, especially in political contexts. The study used a qualitative approach. The data consists of 6 political news articles, 3 from the Washington Post and 3 from the Los Angeles Times. They used method simak and catat, which means observation and note-taking, for collecting data. Sentences were then analyzed using theory of presupposition triggers from Levinson, 1983, and Yule, 1996. Presupposition triggers were grouped into 3 types. The first one is existential, such as definite descriptions. The next one is lexical, such as factive verbs, implicative, and iterative. The last one is structural, such as cleft constructions, adverbial clauses, and non-restrictive clauses. In the result, from 235 sentences, the author identified 264 presupposition triggers. And let me now share some examples from the findings. For existential presuppositions, here, John cites a George Washington University political scientist. They presuppose that John cites exists and holds that title. And for lexical presupposition triggers, we take the example from the factive verb. She, DeLeon, hasn't realized the rules of the game have changed. Blah blah blah. The verb realize presupposes that the rules have indeed changed. And for structural triggers, here on the clef constructions, like what he has said in public settings, presupposes that he has spoken in public before. An adverbial clause example is the rally came a day after Obama's blistering attack on Trump, blah blah blah. And the sentence above presupposed that Obama's blistering attack on Trump in a speech causes of the rally came a day. And finally, a non-restrictive clauses. Bob Corker and Jeff Flake, who have openly criticized Trump but aren't seeking re-election. The trigger who have openly criticized Trump but aren't seeking re-election refers to Bob and Jeff Flake. And it presupposes that the important information about the noun and non-phrase which refer to. After analyzing the articles, the author finds a wide variety of presupposition triggers in both news sources. Definite descriptions were the most frequently used type. Non-restrictive clauses appear more often in the Los Angeles Times, while clef constructions and iterative forms were more common in the Washington Post, and conventional items were found only in the Los Angeles Times. The authors also included numerical data showing the frequency and percentage of each type of trigger. To conclude, the study shows that presupposition triggers are powerful linguistic tools. Journalists use them to subtly present opinions as facts, especially in political writing. The study encouraged future researchers to analyze presupposition in other forms of media, such as talk shows or podcasts.